Today marks one of the biggest days in the run for the White House. 14 states, now including Arkansas, one territory will hold nominating contests for the Democratic Party candidate. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us at 5 o'clock on this Super Tuesday. I'm Bob Clausen.
And I'm Ashley Ketz. Today is one of the most pivotal days on the presidential primary calendar. More than 1,300 delegates, a third of the total, are at play on this Super Tuesday, more than any other day during the primary election.
It is going to be a busy day. We're bringing you team coverage of the race tonight. Susan El-Khoury is live at Democratic Watch Party there. Hillary Hunt is live outside Republican headquarters. Claire Kreitz is following the judicial judges races, and Jay Burr will bringing us political analysis throughout the evening.
And we want to begin with Susan El-Khoury, who is live from the Democratic Watch Party at the Library Kitchen and Lounge here in Little Rock. Susan, a lot of excitement there. All eyes on Arkansas tonight.
Yeah, this primary is going to be a big one, in large part because it's been the most contested race leading up to the polls. And of course, Democratic Watch Party here slowly starting to pick up. That's expected to start within the next hour. And I'm told campaign reps and supporters for some of the top contenders will be here. That's Joe Biden, Mike Bloomberg, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren. Biden is in Texas tonight, but his campaign is holding its own watch party here in downtown Little Rock. And that is a sign that they do think he has a good chance here. So far in this race, he's been running neck and neck with Bernie Sanders. Sanders, of course, hoping to make a comeback after a failed bid for the nomination in the last election. And the last two candidates, Warren and Bloomberg, we've seen them doing a lot of campaigning in Arkansas. Warren was just here over the weekend. But until the polls close, Democrats are just watching, waiting, wondering who is going to inch closer and closer to getting their name on the ballot in November. Live in downtown Little Rock, Susan El-Khoury, back to you.
All right, Susan, thank you very much. Now we want to toss it out to Hillary Hunt, who is live outside Republican headquarters in Little Rock. Break down the Republicans' issues this evening, Hillary.
Hey, Bob, if you talk to anyone here at the Arkansas Republican headquarters, they're going to tell you they think that this race for the Republican presidential ticket is a no-brainer. They're telling me that they think Donald Trump, our current sitting president, is going to take it by more than 90% of the votes. But there are two other names that you'll find on the ballot vying for that Republican ticket for that presidential spot. Let me give you a look at some of those people. Rocky De La Fuente, he previously sought the Democratic nomination for president, but that was back in 2016. And then next to him, you'll see Bill Weld. He's a former governor of Massachusetts. Weld ran for vice president of the United States in 2016 on the Libertarian ticket with Gary Johnson as that presidential candidate. And of course, our current sitting president, Donald Trump. But the Republican Party of Arkansas says they're far from worried about what's actually going to shake out tonight on this Super Tuesday.
Arkansas Republicans are very, very supportive of our president.
And speaking of that support for our current president, Donald Trump, who you just heard from, Doyle Webb, the chairman of the Arkansas Republican group, he tells me that they're already gearing up for that campaigning for Donald Trump for that seat in 2020 and for that November election. They said that they are ready, and he tells me that he believes that Donald Trump will be reelected. Live in Little Rock, I'm Hillary Hunt. Bob and Ashley, back to you.
All right, Hillary, thanks very much.
And besides the presidential primary, Claire Kreitz has been following some of the Supreme Court justice race. There's one of them that all Arkansans will decide on their ballot. Claire, can you tell us about these candidates?
Yeah, Ashley, today voters are choosing a new justice for the state Supreme Court. Barbara Webb and Morgan Chip Welch are both fighting for that seat on the bench. Webb is the chief administrative law judge of the Arkansas Workers' Compensation Commission. Welch is the Pulaski County Circuit Judge. While this is technically a nonpartisan race, it's taken a partisan edge with both candidates criticizing each other's political ties. Both candidates say they will approach this seat representing all Arkansans, hearing each case fairly and impartially. I will be following the results as they come in. You can stay up to date on air and online. Back to you.
All right, Claire, thank you very much. Capitol View host Jay Burr is in the studio to break down information that's coming in into the newsroom throughout the evening. He's joining us now with what's going to be a monumental day for the state of Arkansas. Our first Super Tuesday.
Yeah, guys, get ready. It's Super Tuesday here. And again, it's one of the biggest, I guess, election events in history, at least for the primaries, you could say. And really, it's really a wild card here. Mike Bloomberg actually being on the ballot now is really going to make things interesting for a lot of these races. You guys mentioned Joe Biden. He was probably going to dominate the state. Now you've got a little bit of a monkey wrench in there, as we've seen with Mike Bloomberg. He's been polling well here in Arkansas. In fact, in the last Talk Business and Politics poll, he was winning in that one with Joe Biden second, Bernie Sanders kind of in a distant third. So it'll be interesting to see how those shake up and if all three of those guys will get enough of those votes, that 15% threshold, in order to receive delegates in the state. We've got 31 to dole out tonight, 5 super delegates that are kind of like free agents when it comes to the Democratic National Convention. And then Elizabeth Warren, it'll be interesting to see what she does across the Super Tuesday lineup tonight here. Obviously, she's kind of fallen off and really hasn't picked up any delegates beyond what she won in Iowa, and you have to think this is sort of her last gasp for anything to keep this race going here. Just sort of conspiracy theory on my part, I would think that she might team up with Bernie Sanders as her VP if he does get that nomination. Again, time will tell on that end, and you still got time to get out to those polls, so make sure your voice is heard tonight. We will have everything coming up for you guys starting at 7:30 tonight. Make sure you check out KARK.com. We'll have results as they come in throughout the night and across all the races going on here in Arkansas.
All right, Jay, thanks very much. And again, the polls are still open right now in Arkansas. They close at 7:30. We have your coverage for you as the results start to come in. For the very latest, you can watch us here. You can also go to our website, KARK.com, and also be sure to download our app from the Google Play or the App Store.
And other news this evening, and there is plenty of that to bring you. A Little Rock woman is afraid to be in her own home after it was shot at for the second time.
And the first time happened in January, the second just a few nights ago. Our Haley Brooks met with her today. Haley, what happened?
Bob, Ashley, the 70-year-old homeowner says in January, 3 people fired several rounds at the front of her house. Today, we could still see a dozen bullet holes. Now, just a few nights ago, she told me she was laying on the couch in her living room when someone knocked at the front door. She didn't answer. Then a few minutes ago, someone pounded on the back door, and again, she didn't answer. Next, she says someone opened the window in the living room, put their gun inside, and started shooting. She didn't want to be on camera for the safety of herself and her grandson, who also lives there, but here's what she had to say.
Me not bother nobody, you know. What you gonna come to my house for and shoot my house up? This is the second time, you know.
We also spoke with some neighbors about what happened, so tune in tonight at 6 for the full report and to hear what Little Rock police have to say. Bob, Ashley, back to you.
Thank you, Haley.
Well, it has now been about 24 hours since a series of tornadoes hit our neighbors in Tennessee. One of the hardest hit places was the Music City itself, Nashville. We're going to have live coverage on the search and recovery efforts ongoing at this hour.
Plus, February is National Women's History Month, and a new exhibit is opening in Pine Bluff, looking at ways to honor women across the state.
And here in Arkansas, we lucked out weather-wise as far as the chance of rain was concerned. South Arkansas, you folks have been in and out of the light rain. Remember, polls are open until 7:30. So remember, if you don't vote, you can't complain about anybody in the government. And that's my advice. Here in the capital city, we started at 50 degrees, up to 66 this afternoon. Just a trace of rainfall, but we're going to be putting more in the rain gauge late tonight and tomorrow. Your forecast is next.
You're watching KARK4 News at 5 with Ashley Katz, Bob Clausen, Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan, and Drew Wayman with your Pig Trail Nation report.